Game 1.
And we're here with the first draft of this wonderful series between IG and Team Secret. Always a pleasure to watch Secret Draft, and we have a new panelist with us.
Howdy.
You might have not seen him before. Her name is Sheepsticked. How are you doing? How are you feeling first time on panel here?
I'm feeling amazing. They let me know they don't have enough British talent yet, so they just had to fly me over quickly to fill that gap.
That's nice. Diversity is important. And then we also got Aoi. We've seen him before. Hello, Aoi.
Hi.
All right, well, we have a draft between Secret and IG. I am curious to know what you are expecting here of Secret, Mr. Aoi. Or IG, rather.
Well, so for both of them, I think Secret, I don't think they're really thinking they have to do anything out of their norm. I think they should feel like their normal play style matches up pretty well against IG's. We actually saw them sort of counter-draft how they thought OG's playstyle was, which is generally a good sign for a team when you're feeling flexible enough to play multiple playstyles. As far as IG, I really liked what Insania said about they should feel like they should want to break down Secret's wall. Because if you think about IG as a team, they're very aggressive, and their style is to use that aggression. If you can't play your normal style against a team like Secret, like it's going to feel bad, at least in the first game of a best of 3.
We start off, Sheep, with a Lion Mars combo. What do you think of this opener?
I actually like it a lot. I love Mars. He's one of my favorite heroes. He was looking a little bit shaky in the group stage at a very low win rate, but I think he's seen like this resurgence of teams like continuing to pick him and being really effective with him. Collapse especially, his Mars has been fantastic to see. We've seen it paired with IOs, but that's getting banned out this game. Lion, great hero, provides a lot of burst, which is nice when people are picking these heroes like Ench and Tide Hunter. I'm actually surprised because Tide and Elder Titan were not banned and have not been picked on either team when they have been very popular so far.
Yeah, maybe a first for the upper bracket, it feels like. And to add on to your point about Mars, I think you're right. It feels like he's been through a bit of a renaissance with the armlet build. It allows him to have some sustain in lane. It allows him to clear creep waves with one W, don't know the name as well. And
God's Rebuke.
God's Rebuke, thank you. And typically that hero's lack damage, but Armlet has made up for that in a lot of ways. And as far as Lion, I feel like I've seen Kaka play Lion literally for 4 years, since he was on Niobe, the TI 7 Grand Finals. Was it 7? I think it was 7. Like, he's played Lion, and he's always looked good at it. IG style, I think, has always been to have these heroes who can group up early, run at you, and then when an opponent sort of splits them up to go on the side lanes, Kaka on some Lion or Nyx is always there ready to catch them. I remember in the Singapore major, like, Abid was on Puck, and I'm like, oh, Abid Puck, he never dies. And Kaka was always there ready to catch him with perfect spell casting.
I want to ask about the Ench pick, though, because this is not the first time that Secret first faces an Ench, but it is the first time that it's not against an ET. So what's the logic behind the pick here, you think?
I like Ench a lot because she secures your lanes. She provides a lot to a draft, actually. She's, you can send your creeps like down lanes to push. She's really good at she can rotate onto mid and provide help support there to like secure war runes, especially if your mid is like one of these spirits that really wants the ball refill. I like her a lot for that. She's a great hero that Poppy has played a lot so far this tournament already, so I think it's like comfort and good for them.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I think Enchantress, she's sort of like a misunderstood 5 hero. I think a lot of teams, when they play their Enchantress, it's a very low farm hero, might have some Tranquil Boots or Treads and nothing else. Poppy this tournament, he has 321 GPM. He's a higher GPM player than Yapser, probably the highest position 5 GPM. I didn't check that. So Enchantress with items, she's incredibly well scaled. And when you think of these heroes at frontline, you think of the Ogres, the Banes. But Enchantress, if you pop that heal, take the 15 talent, have a couple items, she's a better tank than all of them. I think we saw that the last series where DY, he was just running in on Enchantress and he was giving vision. They saw her, Jesus Razor, they just blow him up. I think Poppy wants to do the exact same thing here.
Interesting. Actually, Quincy Crew did that a lot in the season with MSS. They would put him on Enchantress, and that's exactly what they would do. Tank and use your body to stop smoke, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think Enchantress, she's, like, you mentioned for MSS, it was a 4 position. For Secret, they get to basically play 2 4 positions this tournament. It's just how they control the map. Because a lot of teams, they're sweeping around the map. You consolidate all your farm into your cores. But often what happens when you do that is that your supports sort of get left behind. Poppy and Secret in general, they play a more even style in terms of farm. I mean, they'll still get their carry really farmed. But in the process of holding their side of the map, playing some defensive wards, you tend to like leave supports in lanes or farming like some dangerous camps more often.
Oh, what could we be expecting here, Sheep? What could we be seeing here for IG next? You have the Lion Mars. You said you like this combo. But where is this draft leaning towards, in your opinion?
Well, since they have a lot of aggression with these heroes already, I mean, we've seen how popular the spirits have been this TI already. Storm getting banned out. That does leave Void Spirit, who's been quite contested, I would say, through this TI. So maybe they'll pick it up in the next round. I think I really like Team Spirit's supports already. I mean, Monkey can flex onto any role, but like talking about how greedy they are with how they like to play their supports, I think Monkey is like amazing for that as a 4 if they want to go that route, because he gives so much vision through jumping through the trees. If they get good wards down, you know, that lets them play this aggression on the map to like farm in dangerous spots more safely. I think the supports like of how well Eng can farm, like those two complement each other, and I think it also like is good against what IG want to do. If they can scout out like these moves and stop things, then like that's going to be really good to stop that. Lina also quite good. I think Emu's been playing it quite a lot this TI so far. And between Lion and Lina, no one's going to be left alive. That's an amazing nuke.
I really like what you said about the vision coming in from Team Secret's heroes. Because when you said that, it reminded me like how I think of Team Secret. They're always about accumulating vision. And accumulating information, which you get from vision, like Monkey King, Enchantress keeps shoving waves, which both these heroes can do if they decide to support them, and then reacting to that information to make good decisions. I think since they picked Lina mid, I was thinking, okay, I was going to say they would not put Monkey King mid, but I like this from Team Secret. Like they're instantly countering the hero that they know where it's going. I think Lina this tournament, maybe you can play her 4, but honestly, I don't think I haven't seen it this tournament, and I used to spam Lina 4 a lot, and she feels god-awful this patch because you can't keep up your fiery soul stacks with LSA. They made the cooldown 13 seconds on LSA at level 1. So right now, Team Secret, they have damage, they have some like lane shove, some vision and annoyance. I think right now they need to consolidate their team fight. Because if we look at the two, if Secret wants to form a wall, hold their jungle, it's looking a little bit spooky here. When Mars goes in an arena, like what's your real reaction here, right?
Can we discuss the Lina TA matchup though for a second, Sheep? Because I know that, obviously, there's very obvious counter. You can stop Dragon Save, stop Light Strike Array, but I know that with the attack speed and the way that Lina's being played right now, the matchup doesn't seem so one-sided as it used to be.
Yeah. I would say Lina looks decent here. Like, it can go either way. If you build the attack damage on Lina, I love that build. Lots of people have been doing it. You can burst through this Enchantress. You can burst through this Templar Assassin, get through her refraction charges. I personally think it's, you know, it can go either way as the game progresses. I do think, though, that Team Secret getting this TA, getting this Venge they also just picked up, is going to allow this TA to kind of snowball through this game pretty hard. It looks like an all-in to like help her. So that makes Lina's game pretty hard because if TA gets a good start, gets her dagger, so on, jumping this Lina, she's a squishy hero for a long time, man.
Yeah,
so,
we've been seeing Lina's go for like Travel's BKB Silver Edge almost every game. That's no plus armor. And IG, they've actually reacted to that lack of physical mitigation. First you have the Mars, who can like maybe absorb some of this with Bork, but now to pick up the Winter Wyvern. This is, I think it's a really good pick because right now, like before that pick, I felt like Lina was a bit vulnerable. She might still be vulnerable because Lion Winter Wyvern supports. I don't think you can deal with the aggression of Puppy's Enchantress, but they might be able to, I don't know what their plan is for that. Maybe their plan is just pressure the lanes really hard. They do have last pick, so if they pick something that puts a lot of pressure on what I'm assuming is a Zai Vengeful Spirit, not the best laner, then I could see them like trying to hold Yapstra's Monkey King and Puppy's Enchantress to the side lanes.
What's the logic behind the offlane Vengeance Spirit? We theorized this pick would be maybe present at the TI, but I think it's the first time we see it.
I think Venge got picked a couple times.
In
I
the
saw
group
position
stages?
1. Yeah, someone played at position 1. I think it was Secret.
I think it was Secret.
Secret played at position 1
Yeah.
with a sniper, right? Was that
Secret or
Secret OG? I don't remember who that was.
I do remember what game you're
Yeah,
talking
they had a
about,
lot of the 4-mass armor heroes and sniper.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I don't even know it's position 3 Venge for sure.
Okay.
But
yeah, it could be flexed.
The single target save is really good here because Mars and Lion, you know, Mars, you think of this big AoE arena, but honestly, he's a single target hero. You're just spearing one hero after the arena. And Lion, if you hex on, you can save them. The buff that made Venge extremely popular when she was meta, maybe a few months ago, was that when you swap your ally, you give them damage mitigation. And also, the Aghanim Scepter became really strong once you couldn't destroy it with a hex. It becomes a strong illusion.
Are you concerned, though, because Secret currently have very little team fight. They have a Monkey King. He probably on support, but there is nothing that really keeps people in the Monkey ult. So I feel like Team Secret need to bridge that gap with their last pick, and like TA and Venge are really awkward because they're, you know, they can be cores, but then if Vengeful is off lane, then you're taking away a off lane, which is where most of the stuns and controlling heroes come from. So So I don't know. Secret's drop seems a little bit awkward right now.
Yeah, I feel
like
like
important.
I completely agree, because usually the ways that you do a team fight are either you break down those heroes in lanes, or you sort of master team fight so you can still take engagements. The last way you can do it is you can sort of play like these like sort of more spontaneous small skirmishes, pick them off, which I think is what Team Secret's sort of going for. They're going for into a snowball lineup. I don't mind it simply because of Enchantress. I think this is the only hero in Dota right now that lets you snowball off of lanes into like a commanding map position. It's just everything about this hero. You know, you get creeps, you can take control of runes, you can gank the mid, and then you can push towers. It's just snowballs like that. And honestly, I don't know where Team Secret's heroes are going. Because wait, there's just a Venge 1, right? Again, I'm pretty sure it's
or it could be Monkey King 1 and then
Monkey
Venge
King
2.
1.
Yeah.
And
then ET4.
honestly, they can do anything based on what IG pick last.
Honestly, it's
which
true.
is interesting.
And they have a great minus armor draft now with Older Titan, right? The amount of physical damage is insane.
They've fully committed onto it though, and IG have a Wyvern, which is one of the greatest heroes in the game against physical damage.
But their physical damage is weird, right?
Yeah.
It comes from like minus armor, which Winter's Curse doesn't really help against. I mean, the Code Embrace will be extremely good, but it's not like one of those physical damage lineups where any Winter's Curse feels good.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know. Team Secret's draft, it's not really what we've traditionally seen this tournament, but Team Secret, they're like the team that's most confident in their own ideas always.
Yep.
And I think if they think this is what's right, like why would I just want to see it. I don't even want to question like what its weaknesses are. I want to see how they apply its strengths.
Fair enough. So then, considering its strengths, what would you expect here for IG? What is it that they need to do to mitigate this?
For
line?
IG,
Doesn't have to be a prediction, but what are you looking for in this next hero?
probably just a carry that can match the tempo of Secret. I think Secret's like lineup is they're gonna take Roshan. Yeah, Weaver perfect.
That's a good call, because
Good call.
if they tried to go for a scale, they could get run over, right? And Chandra's to Avenge. I think your idea is spot on here.
Right.
I like that Weaver a lot.
Okay.
Okay, so it is a 3 Venge, a 1 Monkey King. I did not know what I was talking about, because they can go anything.
And then a TA mid, right? I presume.
Yeah, TA mid. The 1 Monkey King is a bit more team fight, and Outer Titan, I mean, this is the last phase Outer Titan. I think Fogged is having a little tiff right now.
You cannot get too happy. That hero's getting nerfed after TI.
Yes.
Fogged will never see him again.
Well, there's one person that we do need to see before we get right into the game. As you guys know, this is the famous segment, The Last Word, and we're going to go on with BSJ's best friend, Jenkins.
Hello. Let me tell you what's going to go down in this game. There's the camera I'm supposed to look at. Okay, on one side, we got Team Secret. They got Monkey King, they have Enchantress, they have TA. Name 3 heroes that push lanes better than they do. You might be thinking there's absolutely no way that IG is going to win this game. False. That's not true. There's no way. IG absolutely can win this game, not the lane. They've got Mars, they've got Lina, they've got Lion. These are pick-off heroes extraordinaire. They can absolutely win. If these guys on Team Secret are pushing up in those side lanes, they're going to pick them off. That's what's going to happen in this game. We also have a Winter Wyvern. We have Mars, like I just mentioned already. These heroes can absolutely fight into anything. But Team Secret, what are they waiting for? What are they riding on? They need this TA to absolutely pop off. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to push out the side lanes. They're trying to make sure that their TA gets farmed. And we'll see, can Matumba Man's beard give Team Secret the power to get through this game? Introducing Purge and Moxie.
Thank you so much, Jenkins. That was incredible. My goodness, Purge.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to get that kind of throw. It was a great way to start the cast.
It was fantastic. I feel like when you walk outside your building and there's that guy sitting there and he just needs to tell you everything, but, you know.
I'm usually the Jenkins side of that, so I can relate, yeah.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Well, we have a great game number 1 here for you guys. We've got Invictus Gaming versus Secret, and like Jenkins was saying, they have a lot of burst potential. They've got a lot of gank potential, things that IG does exceptionally well. But then Secret, you know, it's Secret. They have just some of the craziest things that they can play, move. You know, we've got the offlane Venge that we've seen a bit of on and off. It's Zai. who knows what we're going to see.
I really liked the Venge this game. They did it as a response likely to the immobile Lina. If Lina gets out of position, she tends to have a really bad time. So being able to swap him out of position is dangerous. And as we pointed out in the drafting stage, having both Lion and Alina, it's a lot of burst damage and a lot of spells to go on one guy. And if that person is Vengeful Spirit with Ags, Venge is going to respawn, and then you're like, haha, your ultimates are gone. Now we're going to be strong. With that said, though, I still agree with what Jenkins said. Those pickoffs on the side lanes are going to be really satisfactory at the very minimum. But the Venge swap is still a potential solution here for Secret. So if they cast their spells amazingly, yeah, their lineup can absolutely work, and I can't wait to see if it does.
All right, well, we get the usual scuffle over here, just getting into position, trying to ensure that they get those bounty runes. You can hear everyone's very excited for this match. Love to hear that crowd. And we're going to see some fighting break out right off the bat, but Yapster will be able to take this bottom rune.
All right, nothing too extreme at the moment. I'm just kidding. They're going to fight some more.
Got to get those value clicks off, man.
I mean, this is big against Yapster here. He went for a boot start, so any extra regen harass at the very beginning of the laning stage is going to hurt his first 20 seconds or so. That could make the difference in whether or not you get as many denies, and therefore who hits level 2 faster. That could miss a kill time. These things might sound small, but they're really, really important in these super high-level games where everybody makes the tiniest mistakes.
See, now we've got that triple view. Mid lane going about what we expected here. Nisha being able to harass very well with these side blades. And a little bit of movement up in the top lane, too. What are things that we want to be looking for here, Purge?
Well, I think one of the bigger questions is how well Puppey is going to do on the Enchantress. It's a hero that was more or less ignored the entire group stage. She was seen as a very strong hero earlier on in the year, but all of a sudden, she's kind of popping back into it, which is a little bit surprising to me. So can Puppey get a lot of harassment done? He's going to start things off with a Centaur creep. He's got a limited time here, but this can be a great way to stabilize the lane if they can get a kill, or at least some good harass.
Checking in over on the mid lane right now. It's looking a little not so great here for Nisha. Look at the last 6 and 9s. 8.
Oh, this is so big.
Top lane, there it is. There's the first blood as Buffy gets the kill on Kaka.
It was really cool how he did that, actually. He brought the Centaur, and keep in mind, you only have 30 seconds from when you transform and take over this neutral, so he kept the Centaur more south than his hero, and then when he showed, oh, hi, I'm here, they boundless strike from farther away. That sets up the Centaur stun, then they get the body block. It was excellently executed there by Team Secret.
And Puppey is the king of positioning, and definitely not a stranger to playing this particular hero. Bottom lane, though, I like how they've went and they've blocked off the side camp. I think that's very important whenever you're playing against an older Titan.
Yeah, don't give them the free stacks or damage here. And once again, Puppey grabs another Centaur. We'll see if they can get another swing top. Be a little surprised, but fight bottom too.
Just harassing a little bit back and forth. Nothing too hard committal here. Yep, so just have to be careful, though. He's taking a decent amount of harass.
Puppey just controlling this lane. He gets another D ward here. This one's going to be blocking his large camp, so it's going to take Kaka a lot more resources to prevent Puppey from lane controlling, pulling all that good stuff. Tumba Man last hitting is going fine, but in the mid lane, oof, Emo is doing really good. 16 and 8 versus 8 and 1 on Nisha's TA. It's going to be hard to catch up if he doesn't get some stacks going.
Yeah, it was definitely a situation when we saw the harass coming out early, but Emo just, really focused up, hitting all those creeps, making sure he's getting the last hits. And clearly that has paid off. I'll be interested to see, too, if the way, because IG is a really interesting team, the way that they like to move about the map. A lot of the times when they're creating stacks, they usually, instead of, some teams that go off into different lanes to try to create pressure elsewhere, they usually play around that area. So do you think we're going to see something very similar to that, or are they going to try to be more aggressive, try to take away stacks from the TA?
Definitely be aggressive while they're taking stacks, if possible. Secret can mitigate this a little bit by trying to push lanes all the time, because then it's going to create 2 windows for IG. Yes, they could go be aggressive and try to contest TA, but they also need to defend their towers from dying. And if they don't contribute a lot of heroes to pushing those lanes, it's a really tough decision to make.
Oh, Fly sitting very low here is going to have to go. Pop those one charges. Yapster hunting. He's got the spirit.
He's got a new stun.
They have a fresh stun. They'll turn and put some damage over onto Ollie. But we'll back off.
Oh,
they canceled out the salve.
Nicely done by Zai there. That's a costly one. Do they have any more? No, just a tango. That's going to cost Fly some last hits here. It's a good time for Zai to play aggressive, get as many trades as possible. With that said, Yaptor shifts over to try to help with the water runes. That's going to guarantee it for Nisha, so they will be helping him out a little bit, help him catch up. And in fact, he's basically caught up now. 20 last hits versus the 23 on the Lina, so not bad for Nisha.
Definitely two very skilled players over in this mid lane. Bottom lane, a lot of harass coming out over onto Kaka. They're out the Hex. They've got the net though from the Troll. Turn around, nice Earth Spike, Kaka. So they were trying to get the body blocks off, but not going to be able to succeed.
But still, they're making good pressure up there. Puppey is not super highly leveled, which is going to make Matumba Man get his levels more faster. JT pushing him back.
Good Earth Spike again, but they'll put some more harass over onto JT.
He got the stun. He's going to heal off of this creep wave most likely. There
it is.
Very nice. And he went for 3 points in Jingu Mastery, so he wants as much lifesteal as possible. And that's probably because he knows that Puppey's not always going to be in the lane, so making sure that he can lane sustain without his support coming over is going to be really helpful.
Seeing a pretty even matchup now here in the mid lane. 29 and 14 over on Lina, 28 and 5 over on Nisha's TA. Have some beautiful stacks though, and Puppey, he's creeping in. He has an idea that these are being made.
This is the best thing to do. Oh, stacks, cool. I can pick the best neutral creep that I want. And that takes a lot of the gold out of the pile.
Oh.
Fly getting a Zai kill though.
Indeed he is.
And honestly,
Good moves,
it's very normal for Venge 3 to die at least like once or twice in the lane stage. It's not easy.
What about this Puppey though? That's a Laguna Blade. LSA doesn't quite connect. Puppey hiding over on the tree line, putting out something for the Impetus. He is going to fall, but we have that high five coming out over here. Nisha gets the kill on Emo.
A very big juke by Puppey. That forces Emo to commit and gets him that easy return kill. So excellent trade once again for Secret, but the game is still even.
Indeed it is. Wouldn't be surprised to see some more movement going around those stacks over in the top area.
At the very least, they're going to keep blocking these camps, move Enchantress over to limit the large camp, or they can start getting aggressive on the map. And while Puppey's accomplished a lot, he is still level 2, which can have its downsides. It's a little bit harder to make as much happen for you to be survivable if you have that trouble. Matumba Man getting a great trade off top once again, gets a Jingu stack, harasses JT, but...
Zai, the bottom lane, they're going for the dive. It's going to be Ollie who collects on this kill.
Thinking about diving mid though. All the supports stay there.
Thinking about it. Trap gets popped. The center. Stop coming out. Holds Emo into place. They're going for the cold embrace. They'll follow up though with the Earth Spike. It's still a dead Kaka. And they get another one. They get Emo. Ollie running for his life. Another trap pop. And he's going to be the last one to fall in the mid lane.
Man, I was a second away from criticizing Secret for their supports not being bottom and for Venge dying twice in a row, but you saw the payoff there so hard. Puppey comes in, lands a monster 2-man War Stomp. I didn't even know the stun went that wide, but he gets 2 heroes, and Matumba Man rotated. Remember I said before he got that Jingu stack? He brought that buff all the way to the mid lane for this gank, and it gave him that huge damage burst against Lina. And now they just get the tier 1 tower at 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
That's incredible.
It's going to open up quite a bit of options for them. You know they're going to want to take that Roche early. That's Secret Dota, baby. That's how they play.
This is the dangerous thing about these successful early game heroes, is that it just creates this weird tempo and puts IG in a bad place. It does restrict Nisha's farm normally, but this guy's great at jungling and clearing stacks, so he doesn't really care that much if he sort of loses his mid lane for a while, because now he's just going to farm really aggressively on the other side of the map, and we'll see how long it takes for Secret to take this safe lane tier tower for IG.
Give me a prediction, Perch. How long do you think this is going to take? Because they're making those moves right here, right now. They've got the vision. They're poking away at Fly.
Ooh, Ollie's going to try to slow it down, but
Ollie, this is not good for you, my friend. Matu just whacking away. Yapster following. They do have the play, but they have the tree jump. Hopping right back down again. They want this kill, and it's going to Matumba Man. Bottom lane, more pressure being placed on Fly. They want this tower, and they're pushing it hard.
They're getting some damage done, but it's a little bit tough. Little skeletons are certainly going to help. But diving the Weaver is a problematic thing. Even like Vengeful Spirit has some issues, because you can not land the stun if he goes invisible. You have to commit a dust, but sometimes he's going to time-lapse dodge things. It's a little hard for them to secure that kill on the Weaver, and as a result, not as easy for them to force this tower as much as they'd like it to. And on the other side of the map, JT's had a free lane for the last couple of minutes ever since Matu left, but the bright side is that he's going this armlet build, and it takes him some time to get it online. So even though his net worth is going to be good, in some ways, IG would rather him just have a fast Blink Dagger.
Matumba Man is landing over onto Kaka. The sleep coming through, couple more clicks, and down he'll go. Fly now, in a world of hurt, he's not going to be able to, manages to jump over. And the back line, there's the arena. They're just clicking away over onto Zai. Swap comes out, though. This is looking like a squish bug as Matu gets himself a double kill. They're looking for more. They find JT over in the corner thanks to this trap. The pin over to the tree. JT, he's trying to stay alive, but there's too many heroes. There's too much damage. And eventually, Ollie saving him for just a moment, throwing out that embrace, but he will fall, and Ollie will fall as well.
It is so hard for IG to defend against these fights because Secret is just collapsing together perfectly. It all started with Matumba Man's stun, sets up the guaranteed Yapsor stun that buys them more time. He gets Jingu's pickups, eventually just cleans up the team. And look at that, the tower on the other side of the map is just now dying to Emo. He's died 2 times so far this game off of those early dives mid. He hasn't had as much time to just clear the mid wave and then go do other things. And the tempo is just going to accelerate now. The enemy jungle is gone. Secret's going to start playing super aggressive and not going to give IG any space.
That is a huge problem. This is exactly how Secret likes to play. They like to get this advantage. They like to choke out their opponents when they are just having difficulty trying to catch up. The flip side of that, IG, this is the thing, right? We get these team metas. When teams start playing against each other frequently, in terms of like boot camps and whatnot, you get used to one another. And the big thing that IG likes to do are these ganks. Their pickoffs, they like burst damage, and clearly Secret has done their homework because they are just playing so tightly together.
But the thing is, I think, and one of the things that restricts him on the ganks, Lion's obviously amazing, but he had a rough laning stage. He just hit 6 with the Tome. And they're going to go for a kill, see if they can get it. But the other issue is they picked Wyvern. Wyvern is a great pick for this to counter against Secret's heroes, but not the best ganking hero and not the greatest laning hero. And that's part of the reason they've lost this laning stage by a moderate amount. But we'll see if JT can get a pick off here.
Zai sitting very far back, wants absolutely nothing to. And they have a feeling. I feel like they know.
They got him with the scan just a little bit. They know they're playing.
Standing over to the side, you can see already Matumba Man teleporting on in. Swap in for the initiation. They managed to find Fly. Can they burst him down fast enough, though, is the question. Yes, they can. Another high five being requested from Nisha.
That was really close, actually. Puppey didn't have his dust in his inventory. I saw it come off cooldown the moment after they got that kill. It was really close to him escaping. But that was a cool gank. Haven't seen the early ulti into swap, into double stun. That was really awesome. But boy, they almost lost it, but great kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And now they're just going to have a brief period of lull, most likely. TA was going for fast Blink Dagger. Nisha's already got it picked up, so her damage output isn't going to be as good, but she's just going to be a second version of Monkey King. When they find somebody out of position, both TA and Monkey are jumping in, and they're doing a lot of damage. And against a vulnerable hero like Lina, that's super scary right now. Emo had to buy Yule Scepter as soon as possible. That's going to help him to defend himself if he gets in trouble. But frankly, if he gets swapped out of position, I can't help but think that he's going to die no matter what. Because even if you buy yourself a little time, your team's going to have to back you up somehow to keep you alive.
Like you said, the way that they jump on Emo, even though he does have that Yule Scepter, there's generally at least one other person, right, participating in these ganks. So even if you buy yourself some more time, he just doesn't have any way to really save himself beyond that.
It's got to be Cold Embrace. It's going to stop physical damage. That'll help a lot against Monkey King and the TA, assuming that your team can like counter-initiate in that 4-second period. And Winter's Curse is another great way, as can be our Mars ulti, but there's just so many different angles that are worrisome that it makes it look a little scary to me for IG. And Zai died twice in laning stage, but now he's doing pretty good. He's got his point booster. He's got his first stat item of his Zags, 2k gold, and he's going to have this. And then he's just going to be a super nuisance every fight. You're going to see probably 2 swaps, multiple sets of stuns, a lot of dangerous things for IG to deal with.
Why haven't we been seeing Venge in this offlane position quite as often recently?
There's just stronger heroes is a pretty safe example. Heroes that can win the lane. Venge basically never wins the lane as a 3-position hero unless they like really mess up on the enemy team. So the nice thing about Venge is that you basically have free ages. So you can think of like Venge Ags as like being a Wraith King, which is a huge advantage. That's his ultimate, and you can get it with just with an item. So having that advantage is great, but it isn't very good at the laning stage, and that can really get a lot of drafts off to the wrong start if you can't really feel your hero's advantage in those early positions.
So it's just a high risk, high reward kind of setup is what I'm getting.
Yeah, that, and also you have to worry that if they have like a greedy carry, you're going to want to punish that. Otherwise, they're just going to go crazy. And Venge can't really do that as well. It's more of a mid or late game hero.
Kaka standing on the high ground. There's a swap over onto Emo. Immediately try and keep Emo alive. That double damage doesn't look so good. The sleep comes out though. Able to get the kill on Emo. Follow up with the Winter's Curse fight over onto the back lines though. Kaka running for his life is going to get punched down by Yapsor. And they'll take down Ollie. Yapsor still hunting, wants to get his hands on Fly, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to quite do it as he does have the Shikuchi up. But they'll happily turn around on the side of Secret and go into the Roche with the double damage.
It's so easy for them to do this now, but that was legitimately a 2-shot on Lina. That was a melt strike with a second hit from Nisha. Obviously, there was also minus armor from Venge, but that was all about the tumbler toy. The Lina was just playing aggressive, Emo playing aggressive in the mid lane, but that tumbler toy jump with the swap up to the high ground, he had no solution to get out once the stomp was there to follow it up.
I'm going to make you say that 3 times fast now.
Which part?
Tumbler toy.
Tumbler toy, tumbler toy, tumbler toy. Got anything else?
Emo running now from Yapsor and Nisha. They're hunting. They want this kill, and they will take it.
This is just so cool to see them punish the Lina. It's one of the most feared heroes, frankly, for a couple teams. T1 is another hero that it really stands out for. But Secret was so ready for it in this draft.
This is not looking good for Fly. Uses the time lapse. And to defend the swap, though, again, Zai doesn't seem to care because he knows Tisha's right behind the follow-up with an arena. Will pin Zai off to the side. And IG will get themselves a kill.
Bottom, Matu gonna get a solo kill, pretty sure here on Kaka.
Kaka! Can he get out in time? The monkey's got one more hit, and there it is.
Anytime you see a death like that on one side of the map, you're like, yeah, okay, but is Secret getting something else? And I look bottom, Monkey sitting in the trees channeling his ulti. Oh, that's not good for Kaka.
Not good at all.
Especially because he's trying to finish his Blink Dagger. That's usually like a lull moment. Oh, go sit down there. No one's going to be in the area. Nah, Matumba Man was ready for that one. Punishes Kaka. Still 1,000 gold till he can get Blink and be really active and set up these team fights.
So what's the play now going here for IG? How do they move about this map? How do they get this real estate back? Because it feels like Secret is just fighting them tooth and nail for any inch.
They're being really oppressive, and I think the scariest thing for IG is that Lina is struggling so hard. JT did a great pivot. He stopped his Helm of Iron Will and he went for Blink instead, so he stopped building the armlet, recognizing what they needed. So that part is online, but Emo just looks like such a vulnerability in this game so far. We've all seen in these fights a wave of terror and a little bit of pressure, and he just goes down. And in fact, I almost wish that he had the Arcane Ring on his hero instead. He needs all the armor he can get right now.
The jump over into the mid lane. They spotted Zai. Nisha's here, though. Look at the damage. 2 hits will take out Kaka, and there's the Laguna. They can't finish Zai. He's going to be able to just walk away. Emo running for his life. Nisha looking for the opening. LSA will connect, but now Fly joining into the fight. Has to be careful. They'll throw out the dust, force the Weaver away.
That was so cool. He swaps while the Dragon Slave is mid-air, so he's not there for the fire to get hit.
Uh-oh. Emo. There are monkeys lurking in the trees, and Anisha who wants to cut you into pieces.
I just don't know what they can do about the Monkey King. He's already got Orb of Corrosion. He's got Echo Saber. He's getting pretty close to the Deso, to be honest. They're going to have 2 Desos on their team. That just means that he blows up these low armor heroes. If he ever catches Wyvern or Lion or even Lina without a defensive item or an ally nearby, he's just going to blow them up. And that's the case for both of these cores. And that just makes the game so much easier for Secret because they just need one of those guys. They're very mobile, plus a support, and they can kill almost any hero.
JT has got to be feeling nervous.
He's got Blink.
Does have the Blink. He's just going to get into the corner, teleport out. I'm sure that trap popping probably scared him a little bit. It's like, oh no, is Nisha here? No.
It's a little scary. Or Monkey King.
I mean, Monkey King's got his eyes on a little bug, and monkeys like to eat bugs, Purge. Not going to land the Boundless, though. Enough time to force Fly back.
Oh, he changed his build, actually. He went for the Basher instead. I wonder if this is because he recognized they already had a Deso. It's a little bit unsynergistic for you both to purchase it. It would have been good. But Basher's great, too. It's going to make it even easier to kill Lina, to kill those supports, to kill Weaver. So I like the pivot here. They're in such a good position. This doesn't bother me at all that he's gone back for a slightly inefficient damage item. It's perfect for the utility.
But I also feel when they're, sitting pretty like they are, it's a little bit easier to be able to make these more creative choices, right? Not necessarily the ones that you're expecting, but the ones that are going to help you seal the victory.
Exactly. It's easy to talk about the what's the 4th, 5th, and 6th items you buy. Right. It's like saying, what are the best 6 items on here? It's all game dependent, and when you're this far ahead, you can really just be flexible and do something that's going to help you close out the game, not necessarily just get ahead. And this is Basher's a great item for that. They can get a couple crucial pickoffs where normally somebody should be able to defend themselves. It's going to continue the map pressure, and Secret gets a tier 2 tower that's going to open Shrine. just
lane,
huge
though,
advantage.
IG trying to find some movement, trying to just put some pressure over on a tower. They're not feeling confident to go up against them just yet. We still, of course, have 30 seconds on that Aegis of the Immortal, on the TA. Smoke play comes out from IG. They might be looking to make a swing play. Agnum Scepter completed, though, for the Vengeful Spirit. This is going to be a hard fight.
Yeah, the moment he sees anybody, they're getting swapped, and he's fighting to the death.
Yep, Thor getting into position. Oh, the three-man Boundless! Oh, follow-up again over on the back lines. The whole Matu into place, but he's winding up there for that Wukong. They go, they put out the Earth Splitter coming through. They'll take down Kaka. They take a slide. Swap coming out now to protect Matu as Ollie has been left behind. Nisha is godlike.
I really thought that Matu might be in some trouble there, but that three-man Boundless Strike was incredible. Also fortunate for him that the same time that that came out, Winter Wyvern ends up cold embracing the line. So even though they did disable Matu, he's not able to follow up right away. That hurt IG's defensive play there to try to catch him. They put the burst damage in him, but he survived just too far ahead.
It is getting so spooky for the side of IG. Very little vision up. They still have some towers, right? You've got the top tier 1 over there. Double damage now for Nisha. What is this? His third double damage?
It helps when you control the map, but whatever rune does come up, it is a lot of DDs by all means. There's like, what, 6 power runes it can cycle through? This one's going to be huge. 120 damage right now is his bonus if he gets it. He's got the Grove Bow as well, so its attack range is legitimately like a normal ranged hero. So it makes it even easier to get those pickoffs. And still no Blink Dagger for Kaka on the Lion.
He's definitely struggling, trying to find any opening, but it's one of those situations where his cores need this. They need the farm as well. How do you move about the map? Because every time they show up, it feels like Secret is just there. Yeah,
that's the hard thing about being behind, is that you don't have as much safe places that your core can be like, yeah, you know what, you can just have that one place that's like slightly safe. Instead, it's like those places have to go directly to your core, so they can try to catch up as much as possible.
Right.
I really like Emo's item pickup. Goes for the Dragon Scale. It's absolutely the right item. He needs as much armor as he can get right now to keep him alive against these heroes, but here comes the possible swap bottom.
Yeah, again, they have the dust. Couple hits immediately over onto Fly. He's going to have to time lapse away. Ollie in position, worried. He's going to try to turn this around. Does have the Winter's Curse. Should be able to take down Puppey, but is going to pay for it with his life. And that's now a Winter's Curse that they don't have to worry about on the side of Secret.
That's true, but any kill they can get right now with being this far behind in gold is going to give them a nice advantage. And that's 260 going to Winter Wyvern, and now he's got a Blink Dagger.
Oh, Emo, do you know what's lurking in the darkness?
Oh, that's really scary.
Look at him. He's just like, something's wrong. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, when TA sits like that, she's prepping a double Meld Strikes. That's minus 16 armor on top of her Desolator. That's a lot. That's like one shot. Well, it's not going to be one shot, but
do your math.
I guarantee Lina would die in 2 attacks from that. That's like if he gets within 600 units, which is quite a lot right now, death if he doesn't Yule's it in time.
BKB picked up now for Fly. It's going to give him a little bit more survivability, but it is still very difficult, very dangerous, because he's got to make sure that he does not get stun locked before he's able to get off that BKB.
And even then, it's not a game you want to buy BKB, in my opinion. Like, you can stop like Echo Stomp easier, but Vengeful Spirit Swap still goes, and yeah, you'll stop Monkey Stun, but like, if Monkey just gets on top of him, he doesn't care. He's just going to auto-attack, slow him with Orb, slow him with Skull Basher, stun him with Skull Basher. But it's just it's an item he has to get this game. There's too much at stake, and it's too scary.
I'll say, though, you know, both of the cores over on the side of IG have been not making space, but finding the farm, finding the space. If you take a look at just what the net worth's looking, obviously we've got the TA, who's just been balling out of control, 14K, but everyone else is fairly close right behind because they are finding these openings, but looking for the pick-off, the fight, the advantage on the side of IG as they are smoked up and they're making their way over towards the Roche Pit. Zai is, I don't think, the person they want, but they're going to have to take it. So they'll open up with a stun, they'll fall off the finger. Can they do enough damage? That's the question. Zai, all right, comes right back up again. The Winter's Curse holding in place. So Stomp going in. Nisha will take down Ollie. There's Splitter coming through. JT, he cannot survive this. He's going to be the next one to fall. As they'll turn around. Another spot, though, coming out. It's all right. It's a Vengeful Spirit. It's the illusion. It's absolutely fine. As they'll go right back, try to put the pressure over onto the mid lane.
Man, all of that, and they only killed one hero. They had to kill Venge twice. They almost killed Monkey, but that defensive swap was huge. And after that fight, I was thinking the same thing as Matuma. And, you know, maybe it's time for a BKB. That was a little too scary for him. If he has BKB, he can definitely continue fighting there. But in that moment, it looked like a big weakness for Secret. But either way, that's the advantage that Secret wants. Put the Venge way in the front, let the enemy jump on him, and he just gets to make the team fight pretty decent for them, whilst the rest of Secret rolls over and takes a 5v5.
How do you position yourself in these fights, right? Because obviously...
For which team?
So obviously, like, Zai has just been running at them because he is the initiator. It's definitely at the point where, you know, they're not as afraid to take these fights because they do have the backup. Elder Titan, an incredible hero for this sort of thing. But for IG, it just feels like they can't quite figure out how to get around. How do you get around the defensive wall that is, of course, Zai here?
It's very difficult. The best thing they would go for, obviously, is a blink disable kills on either TA or Monkey King if they can catch them. And this is part of the reason Matuma Man's playing trees right now, because he can basically kill a creep wave every boundless strike. Once he hits 20, that cooldown goes down a lot, and then it's even easier for him to do it. So he knows that he's the obvious kill right now. So until he gets BKB, he's not going to feel very comfortable being aggressive on the map. And that's why Secret's playing a little bit carefully right now. If they just keep the net worth about even, and then he gets BKB, the game's going to get... It's going to feel like very, very, very winnable.
Oh, look at this. The swap immediately just going to get rid of Kaka. He's going to buy a bit more time. Nice echo stomp. Ollie into position. He wants to try to find the opening. He's not going to be able to do it. Fly with the BKB now. Buyback coming out from Lion. They'll turn their attention to get over onto the Winter Wyvern because he's going to fall next. Ollie will fall. Swap out again, though. This Axe on the bench doing so much work. Boundless comes in hot. Kaka's not looking very good right now. They get a nice arena. Do they have the damage, though? They have the BKBs. They turn it back around. Emo, he's not looking like he's going to survive this. He gets taken out. Nisha just chipping away over at JT. That's a dead Mars, and it's looking like a dead Fly. If they could just get their hands on him, and it doesn't matter. They have the spear.
Zai got 2 kills in that fight with a Wave of Terror. That was pretty sick. First picks off Fly, but ultimately amazing fight. They got separated a little bit. It looked a little bit rough for Secret, but Zai just swaps out any danger. Matu gets a great ulti to set up and guarantee the Lina kill, and this is that advantage that Secret got. BKB's online. Zai's going to respawn here on his illusion, ready to go, despite everybody on IG being dead. Here's a clip once again. Swap instantly on Kaka. So important so that he can't disable those important heroes. BKB gets used on Fly so that Zai can't really grab the guy he wants necessarily, but that's okay, because he's just buying time and getting vision for his team. Ollie lived a little bit longer than I expected there, but swapping in the TA. He gets speared back, but a lot of damage reduction. There's Lion coming back again, but he gets cleaned up.
JT trying to force him out of the base. Important to note, they owe the swap from Zai. Emo trying to just run away. LSA connects. They get a kill on Zai, but he's back up again. He's got that axe. Matumba Man, Echo Stomp landing the swap again into the Boundless, into the burst damage. That's known as Nisha. Look, the follow up with the Winter's Curse. This is not looking good for them right now. They'll be able to take down Matu. Follow up with an arena IG. They're coming back up swinging. They're trying to get them out of their base, but they don't have the positioning. They don't have that damage. The Hex coming out again over on the side of this TA. They need to put out more. Can they do it? Fly with the BKB chasing him down. He also turns back around. They punch. He's gone perhaps a bit too far as he's going to get held into the trees with that spear. And Nisha and Poppy and Zai are just going to run the heck out.
IG would not let Secret leave the base. The Rax was already gone, but they sensed some momentum shift there that they could pressure their opponents. But that said, some of that was Zai as well. He kept the fight going as well. Swapping offensively, ultimately maybe costing them a bit because Monkey King ended up dying there. But if we take a look at the net worth advantage, 14,000 gold advantage for Secret. And frankly, a lot of that was from buybacks. A ton of that came from the IG side.
That was definitely IG very angry that they were cracking their base and simultaneously taking Roshan.
It's tough for them to catch up, but they got to take those opportunities. And when the enemy team's in your base, it's one way.
Little cheeky play there.
No regen for you, but there's a Scotty on Templar Assassin.
Oh my word.
An excellent item against any range cores. That means Lina, that means Weaver. That's why he picked this up.
Oh, they have the vision. We saw that swap coming from a mile away. Another one bites the dust.
And that means they're going to keep pressuring. They don't want to give them any time to get stuff done. So they will go high ground. Zai does not have buyback. That means he can only die twice in this fight, except for 3 times. Big disadvantage there for Zai.
Wow, Zai, really?
Yeah.
Really, dude.
Look at this damage from low
They
ground.
can't even get anywhere near it. I mean, they have a Wyvern, right? The Wyvern at least will be able to push out these waves, but Nisha just does not care.
Can't cold embrace the buildings, and they're just going to fall. Good luck fighting into this. They got 2 minutes on Aegis.
JT, all right, he's like for initiation. We'll jump over onto the T as they follow up. Okay, they'll get the heal. It's a good. Oh, the swap though coming up from Zai, buying enough time, but they do a lot of damage over onto this Monkey King. Are they actually going to take that Montu? They take that Montu. JT throwing up the arena, doesn't want to let Zai go. Zai's going to come back up again. That's life number 2 as they do manage to hold copy over into the arena. Yapzor is back though. Anisha clicking away. Fly. He's trying to get out. Oh, look at the damage! They take down Ollie. Nisha just mad fighting everyone. They get the kill on Kaka. JT on the low ground. He can't get back into his home. And they're going to take down Fly too.
That looks so good for IG. They end up partially initiating, forcing Secret to group up, and that's when they hit him with the winner's curse, guaranteeing the Matu kill. But all of a sudden, Nisha sends blood in the water. He jumps up, gets the backline with the supports. They even briefcase down the Weaver on the low ground. And I think this is about the end of this game here. Almost everybody is dead, and Zai's going to be up in 50 seconds. I mean, they're only missing Monkey King at the moment.
There is no buyback on any of these heroes. They are coming up though. The Winter Wyvern's gonna be back up, so is the Lion. They just call it. They called it. They just don't want to deal anymore with what Secret's got going for them.
It's way too hard for IG to play this deficit because they'd have to engage with 2 supports in Lina. Lina hasn't felt strong all game. Ever since those early laning stage ganks, the supports, they had great abilities, but like, how are you going to engage on a TA that's attacking your tier 4 towers from 600 units away? They have no option there without their cores up. So, wow, what a play.
Definitely very impressive. I would say also that this felt a lot like the Zai show. I don't know if that's the same feeling that you got off of this.
They all played so good, honestly. Those early ganks were huge, though. Zai played great. Matu won his lane and rotated successfully. Like, as they played so cohesive as a team, and it made a big difference.
All right, well, that's going to be game number 1, guys. And of course, this is best 3, so we have plenty more, but we're going to toss it over to our panel.
Thank you very much, Moxie and Purge. A very, very convincing win for Team Secret. Now, when we were in the green room talking, Insania didn't have a lot to say, but when he did speak, he said, if Venge stops Lina, then it's over. So tell me how that worked.
So I think in this game, we've had a lot of like really high level 2 pro players like at the absolute peak who fully understand what they're supposed to do in the game. A battle going on between Zai and Emo, where Emo's having such a hard time entering fights until Zai swapped. And for that reason, Zai was like positioning his hero very aggressively and not swapping. Like you would see him run into fights, just kind of like play in front, and then he would use one swap to initiate. And as soon as he died, you notice Emo's just not entering the team fight. And he wouldn't use the second swap until he knew for a fact that the fight was secured. Right. And as soon as he did, you just saw Emo coming in. And if you guys go back into the replay, you can even see Emo was queuing up a Lincoln Sphere at some point during the game, but he never managed to get to that point. So he made the really high level decision of, you know what, I'm going to buy a Shadow Blade. Because once Zai dies, the Spirit cannot use dust. It can't reveal heroes. So that allowed him to get good positioning so that he wouldn't be afraid of getting swapped. Some really, really interesting high-level plays coming out.
Interesting to see how that worked out for them. Now, what could Invictus Gaming could have done there? I mean, Team Secret had a very commanding lead throughout most of the game, and it seemed like they just set the tempo, just like you guys mentioned earlier. What could they have done?
The matchup on the mid lane is seemingly and historically a little bit difficult for the Lina. The matchup on the mid lane itself is not. You should do well, but later on, the moment TA gets one mobility item, they can jump you, they can take you out instantly. In my opinion, I had a feeling that Weaver should not be dying in a game such as this one. I really feel that Fly, until you reach those high ground positions in which you're trying to pressure the high ground and tier 3s, you should not be being picked off. If you're pushing the tier 1 and you get swapped into Monkey King stun, into Venge stun, there is some positioning problems there. Perhaps they should have planted him on the backsides of teamfights and pushed with JT a little bit more often. How I noticed and what I've seen from the teamfights, JT was a little bit late to join the fights. He was definitely doing it well. If you remember the teamfight around the Rosh pit, he separates Monkey King out of the 2 teammates that got caught and literally saves the fight. But it doesn't matter because everyone is already way too low to continue.
Let's see how the stats played out in this game. It was pretty difficult for IG. It looks like Kaka had 0, 11, and 6. And for the people at home, that looks like a really rough score, right? But he is playing Lion. So tell me a little bit about how the support works in this way, right?
I think for both Kaka and Ollie, once you're on the back foot and you fall behind, you're naturally going to have to die to try and make some plays. They've got to move out on the map, try and contest Roshan, if you just stay in your base, you're going to eventually lose because you're just getting more and more out-farmed. And it was up to Kaka to start these fights with his Blink Stun initiations, or up to Ollie to get a really nice Winter's Curse off. So naturally, these supports, they're going to feed a bit. And then Nisha and Matu, they reap the benefit of that. 14, 0, 11, 10, 2, and 12. Great stat lines for them. But yeah, just a tough game for IG. I think a game where we haven't really seen IG on the back foot, and they didn't really know how to play from behind this game. Or they really didn't have the heroes for it as well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We were talking a lot about Secret's wall, but Secret can do more than one playstyle, right?
Right.
And I think yesterday when they were up against OG, that's when they needed to set up the wall. Today they decided, you know what? We're going to take control of the game ourselves, and we're going to take the pace to them. And I think IG hasn't really been tested in that way. I think in almost every single game IG played during their group stage, they were in dominant control of the games they played. And this was the first time I saw a team take over.
I really think that they had one big issue, and that's the fact that the mid lane and the safe lane kind of want to be playing the same style, or they have been playing the same style. I feel Fly should have been perhaps just a tiny little bit more active with a different item build. I don't even think that BKB, it was necessary, but it came a little bit too late. Or just get a hero that's more mobile for Emo. He's an extremely good Lina, but the game plan is so much easier. The fight plan is so much easier if you have your Void Spirits, Storm Spirits. I believe 2 were banned out, but 1 was still remaining in the pool. They could have gotten it.
And so much goes back to the way Secret prepare for best of 3. They left that Lina in the pool knowing that most likely IG would take it, and I feel like they had that Venge up their sleeves as the answer, as the counter. They did the same thing against OG with the way that, they give OG some specific heroes and then counterpick it. It felt like IG just fell into Secret's trap here.
Yeah, that is exactly what you guys said right before this game.
It was Insania's point, and it's still the strongest one on this panel. I believe I liked it a lot. It's the Vengeful Swap. No, for real. The Vengeful Swap made IG's draft and IG's strategy look feeble. You cannot play this Lina plus Mars if there is a hero that puts you out of position so easily. You have to be hiding constantly. And that's exactly what Vengeful Spirit, that's exactly what Zaya was doing.
The only reason why I laughed is because when you said it was his point and it was good, he just turned and looked at the camera and smiled. It was just...
It was like, yeah.
Very, very good. All right, so it seems that all three of you agree that there were issues with the draft in there on the side of IG. So what adjustment would you make to their draft?
I think this is one of the things you have to understand about playing up against Puppey. And it's like he will give you your comfort heroes, but he will have an idea on how to beat it. And I do think this game was like, really, it was that. Puppey knew the Lina was coming out. He had an answer prepared. And I think IG just like, kind of like, oh, this draft's going great for us. We're getting out everything we want. And I think OG was in a pretty similar position yesterday. And this Secret, to me, looks really scary. This is looking like a TI contender Team Secret.
But what do they do then? So they can't pick their comfort heroes because Team Secret has the notes. They know what to expect. What do they do then? Do they pick something unexpected? Or what is the solution here?
I feel they shouldn't be thinking that way.
Yeah.
That's first. Don't think about Secret and what they're going to do, because Puppey will find a way to counter and make whatever you pick look not so strong.
Yeah.
Just go with what you think is the best for you, and that's it.
And they thought the Lina was best for them. I think the response to that game is just like, okay, let's put Emo in something more active. Let's go back to like the Ember Spirit or something that can make plays, and then have Fly playing the hard carry.
I think that has been their most successful playstyle. But I also want to add to the Puppey point. I think Secret giving away all the comfort heroes sometimes also backfires. I think this is like the trade-off with the way that Team Secret drafts. It's sometimes like, they're going to give you everything you want, and that's precisely what you need in order to win too. So I wouldn't be surprised if, the Puppey tries the same thing, but it doesn't work out as well in game.
There was that meta specifically when Lycan was truly popular, and Puppey let it go through multiple drafts and just lost with it. And it's exactly the point that he was making.
So what kind of hero specifically do you think IG would want to go with? And maybe instead of Lina, they would pick something else, or...
I want to see an Emo Ember Spirit if it's the right game for it.
it would become another battle of the spirits, as we've seen quite a bit throughout the other series today. But what about Team Secret? So I mean, it's really easy to say like, oh, it's Team Secret. It was really easy for them, but they have to be playing at top TI contender status, right? Tell me about what their strongest points were in that game.
I think for me, it was just countering the draft, having a really good game plan, and then also executing in such an aggressive way. They never gave IG any breathing room to get back. I feel like a lot of teams would be like, okay, we have these matchups that we're happy with. Let's maybe, take our foot off the gas. But Secret, they just, they kept pushing forward the entire game once they got that small lead.
Yeah. And it feels completely in their comfort zone, but everything does. Like
when Secret looks good, they just look very good.
They just have multiple mental models. They can pretty much play whatever strategy.
Yeah. They banned out Ollie, something that I thought was very interesting. And when we listened to the interview with Kakia before the series, he's mentioned like one of the reasons we struggled at the Annie Major was we didn't have our position 5 player.
Right.
And I think this is not something that you've historically heard a lot, where like the 5 is like such a big deal to the team. It's mostly been viewed as like the least important role or something like that. So they targeted him with all the first 3 bans. We had Phoenix, Wisp, followed up by Bane. And when I think of when I think of Ollie, these are heroes that, for me at least, immediately come to mind. So I think it was an interesting approach to Secret had to game 1, and I think maybe that caught IG a little bit off guard.
Let's take a look at them entering the stage. Looks like everyone's pretty cool, calm, and collected. No jumping for joy, but yet no like looking down at the ground either. Do you think that the mental state of the game has been changed now that they're one game up? Now that Team Secret is one game up, and IG is one game away from potentially going down to the lower bracket?
It definitely reassures Puppy and what his whole draft and strategy is about. Meanwhile, when it comes to IG, I don't think it matters that much. These guys came from being 0-2 at the grand finals. This is still upper bracket. They're in a fine state at the moment.
Yeah, this is where the coach Super just has to kind of reassure his team, like, okay, we're going to make some adjustments. We have a game plan that's going to, make things look and feel very different so that we actually get to play our game, because it didn't really feel like IG was ever at any point really playing Dota in that game. They were just constantly on the back foot.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever seen Secret smile this much, if I'm being honest with you, at a LAN. They're usually the silent killers, like no emotion.
Yeah.
They just show up, destroy you, and then move on. So I definitely think Secret seemed like they're a little bit relieved, at least, how that game up.
Right when you said that, Avo turned around and looked at you and laughed too. He gave you a little smile as well. Well, you guys have said, like, the way that this panel has been going, you guys are saying like Team Secret is basically like invincible. They have the drafts.
Yeah.
You can get whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You can get nothing that you want, even better.
It's Team Secret in October. What can I say? It's just how it goes.
I need to know.
But I would say that's what people thought. Singapore Major, Grand Finals, EG's up 2-0. They get Storm again. They're up 10K gold. Everyone's just like, it's over. I'm ready to, go to sleep or whatever. IG, when their back's against the wall, when nobody believes them, sometimes they can pull out these miracles. So we'll see. I don't think IG's out of this series just yet.
Do you think that the miracle might be like a pocket hero? Cheese strat maybe? Maybe some Huskar?
For IG, I doubt it.
Maybe the pocket Ember Spirit.
Yeah. I don't think that they're
Pocket
feeling
Ember.
that low to resort to some Meepos or Broods or whatnot. Ember Spirit, or just switching up the playstyle a little bit better is what they need to do. They could have the same exact draft, I believe, but removing the Venge, banning her out and letting anything else be played against you would make the game so much different.
It seems like there aren't very many things that IG can do to really change it up. That's what I'm getting from this, but there has to be like something there.
I think
What
maybe the support hero pool. I think they're used to Ollie playing more dominant laning phase heroes that enable Fly to have a better start to the game. And this time around, he was playing Winter Wyvern, which in theory had a good matchup, right? You were playing against Monkey King, you were playing against TA, you were playing against Venge. There was a lot of physical damage coming in from Secret, but I think they just weren't able to set up the game plan the way I think they're used to playing, where Ollie's like enabling Fly to get off to a good start, and then they're able to support Emo, and for him to then take over the game. So maybe slightly shifting their game plan a little bit more into what we've seen them play throughout the group stages and the first round of the
And they do make the game easier for you, right? On one side you had this Winter Wyvern, on the other you had Enchantress plus Elder Titan. Enchantress and Elder Titan, they'll pretty much dominate on any single lane.
Yeah.
It's so much easier when you have your 2 lanes set up from the get-go. So much easier to play.
But if they're banning out the supports, what do? Like, 2 bans come out immediately.
There's a bunch of them.
I think,
we
yeah,
have over 100
yeah.
heroes. They can find something. We still circle back to the mid lane matchup and circle back to the spirits. Get the real playmaker on that position 1, on that position 2, sorry, because I feel Fly should have covered that role in the first game, and it wasn't truly covered.
Yeah, I think with Alina, they felt like they didn't want to go too greedy, and they picked this kind of semi-carry Weaver. Where they look best, like I go back to their first series, is like they have this Storm with a Spectre. They need this more farm priority on the carry.
Well, let's get this game started.